I think it's going to be the beginning of more troubles for the NDC because the litigations will begin. The litigations as regards even the registration of the NDC.
Yeah.
People that have not gone to court, they will go to court.
Well, there's already one attempt to
go to court, I know. So it will begin. Because you see, as Nigerians, the idea here is not Obi not being on the ballot. That's the problem. So all the forces will do everything to ensure Obi doesn't get on the ballot. I do a lot of political mapping, and I know people that do political mapping. The ADC, APC, all the political parties have done political mapping. The only person that can give President Tinubu some push in this election is Obi. The first strategy is to ensure Obi doesn't get on the ballot. The crisis in the ADC was just because of that. Secondly, the point of Obi is always pivoting to other political parties. Let us go back to what history says. Exactly what happened in PDP, why Obi pivoted, that's what exactly happened in the ADC. Atiku was not willing to ensure that the rotation convention comes to pass. Atiku was not supposed to run in the 2020 election after he had run in the last term of the northern part election in 2019. And that was why the likes of Wiki went up in arms. And that's why sometimes, even if I blame Wiki for not being a party man, he had some justifications in his actions. And that was why Obi left. Obi kept on saying that if you zone it to the south, I'll fight for it. So it's not that he doesn't like to fight. In the case of the ADC, the Atiku camp had already hijacked most of the structure in the ADC. The state chairman we're talking about, we're already hijacked by the Atiku camp. Over the weekend, I walked the phone lines for my sources. I mean, we're political journalists. We walk our sources' phone line. Most of it was already a fait accompli. So there was no way Obi was going to be able to thrive or get a fair situation in this election process. That's why he left. Yes, I know he tried to be cute about it by saying my elder brother Atiku is because of the court case. Peter, Gregory, Obi, you and I know that it is not because of the court case that you left. It is because you were already boxed into a corner. You can write a statement to deny what I said. It's your prerogative. And you know you were already boxed into a corner. And because agreements were not listened to. Part of what I heard was discussed in the Ibadan consensus by one of my sources, I might be wrong, was that there was a conversation about the ADC candidate coming from the south. But people reneged against it. The Atiku team reneged against it. These are the things I'm walking the phone lines and my sources are saying. So I know the Atiku camp will come out and debunk all the things I've said. It's for you to deny. It's for you to debunk. I mean, mine is for me to speak my truths and you to rebut. So once that did not fall through and the consolidation had started, Obi had to leave because Obi wanted to be on the ballot. Yes, you might make an argument and say, why is he moving all around and everything? Hey, man has an ambition. For those that argue, why is Obi moving around? Why is Atiku still running as at 20 from 1993 up till now? And some people are saying, Atiku, this might be his last lap. This is not going to be his last lap. If Atiku is in good health, he will run in 2031. Mark that down. He has his ambition. Yes. You know, former Liverpool coach Bill Shankly famously said, people think football is about life and death, but they are wrong, it's more than life and death. For politicians, politics is more than life and death. Atiku Abubakar's ambition is to become the president of Nigeria. As long as it's in good health, he will keep running until he gets the ambition, the aspiration, and it's his goal. Secondly, what will this do? The first winner will be President Tinubu. But anyway, I had always known that they were going to disintegrate because there was no way they were going to agree in the first place because the ambition of Atiku Abubakar was more palpable than stepping down. And when people kept on saying the other statesman, President Tinubu will make a lot of inroads, yes, also because he's also running with state might at this point in time, the power of incumbency. So it's not going to be as easy. And this is not a Buhari that allows things run. So the votes Obi said he got, the votes Obi got in the last election, he might not get as much because there will be many factors. The other argument I would like to make in the Southeast, you see, President Tinubu, they can tell you that they will give you votes in the Southeast. I'm not sure Nigeria's politics is so mature to the level that people in the Southeast will see Obi on the ticket and see you on the ticket and decide to vote you over Obi. It will be a miracle if Nigerian politics has gotten to that level. So, as regards the South, I've seen a lot of inroads. The South-South is quite split and all of that. But I think what will herald these elections even more that we should be careful about are the things about the electoral laws that have made it pretty much to rig. So it's going to be an election that, correct me if I'm wrong, and I pray I'm wrong on this, there might be a lot of rigging across board. President Tinubu will retain most of his southwestern states and it will be even split. But with this that they've been able to do, I think they just opened the door for a President Tinubu second term, easier than ever, which is a sad reality of things as we speak today because they can't come together. But let me even posit it further by arguing that if they were even together in the first place, would they have been able to beat an incumbent that knows how to use power? No, let's stop being delusional. I mean, Dr. Abati, let me punch you this morning. President Tinubu no be Jonathan.
There is a narrative within your party, the ADC, that, well, if Mr. Peter Obi doesn't get the ticket and he leaves the party, then it means that he's probably working for President Tinubu in a manner of speaking, and he's compromised. Now that this has happened now, is that narrative getting some more backing? Do you believe that this is working for the good of President Tinubu's re-election?
I don't think so. If he goes to contest, to campaign for Tinubu, I'm not sure how many of the obedience will still follow him as supporters of Tinubu. So I do not see how it immediately works in the interest of Tinubu.
Looking at the math, Tinubu, pardon me, looking at the math, it's quite clear. Now your vote is divided. Having all of the major contenders, Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, and Kwankwaso in the same party meant that you were probably going to get an aggregation of the votes they had in the 2023 election. But now that they've been split yet again, it looks like a replay of what we had in 2023, which is why I've seen that narrative. Even Mr. Kenneth Okonkwo on our sister program said that if he leaves, that means he's compromised and is working for President Tinubu inadvertently.
Yeah, I do not controvert what Kenneth Okonkwo said. That could be true, but I do not, in my assessment, see how that benefits Tinubu because Peter Obi is from the south. So if he picks the votes from the south, he's not taking them to ADC. He's taking them at APC. He's taking them to ADC as he has indicated. So I do not see how picking, dividing southern votes, some for APC and some for ADC, NDC, benefit Tinubu in any case. And I know that Tinubu's political value in the north has diminished very, very greatly. And I think it's a risk for him. If he is part of the calculations, then I think at least he has got his arithmetic wrong, as far as I can assess.
So from this calculation, do you think Mr. Atiku Abubakar still stands a chance at president in 2027?
Well, we have not conducted our primaries yet. And if he wins, the question may be relevant. If he doesn't win, the person who wins may now have to be the person we're assessing.
Please humor me.
What I want to say is
humor me, sir. Pardon me. Who is the other person that may win? Just humor me here. Aside Mr.
We have other people in the ADC. You have Emeka Nwajuba. His father has not been very loud. Doesn't mean that he's not contesting. We are aware that he's contesting. And there are other people who are eminently qualified also from the northern part of Nigeria who may not have indicated interest. But when, dynamics change, it may also result, in other people. Of course, we know that for a person like Rufai has been incarcerated doesn't mean that if he had any ambitions, they are also incarcerated. We also have strong other persons like Aminu Waziri Tambuwal, two-time governor, former Speaker of the House of Representatives, who is there. He may not have indicated interest yet, but if the dynamics change, nobody knows what will happen. So we don't want to speculate too strongly. But let me say that Atiku as a person has, very strong credentials for the contest, and nobody should underrate if he eventually clinches the ticket of the ADC. I believe that's very sufficiently strong enough to give Tinubu a fight for his money. And I do not believe that a Tinubu whose performance has now been sufficiently evaluated by Nigerians can defeat an Atiku should he win. But that is not to say that we have said Atiku has won.
NDC, wahala deal. This jubilation that Nigerians are jubilating is translating into registration. Oh. Your link, it be like say don't crash. Oh. Wanna go check them. And by the way, it can't be like say there are two links. There is one, ADC, ndcregistration.com, that has the umbrella logo. There is another one, membership.ndc.com. Which of the two? Mona give us clarification. Mona clear us. We don't want any confusion. It appears as though the correct one is the membership.ndcnigeria.com. Because that one they crash now. People don't go bombard them. People are trying to register. So you guys need to check it. Probably increase the bandwidth as early as 8 o'clock this Monday morning. You need to when I go see registration, I go tire. Nigerians have found new hope in this OK ticket. Nigerians have found new hope. Forget the structure of criminality of the elite. Forget it. Nigerians have found new hope. The North, the South, everybody will align behind Peter Obi. That is for sure. And let's not forget, now that Peter Obi has the ticket, we need to now focus on making sure that the election of 2027 cannot be rigged. So quiet that the only thing they are trying to do now is gaslight Kwankwaso. Have you guys noticed? They are pushing the propaganda now that Peter Obi and the obedient Aisha Yesufu, they forced Kwankwaso, they deceived Kwankwaso, that Kwankwaso is not doing what he's doing now, supporting Peter Obi voluntarily. They are trying to drive a division between Peter Obi and Kwankwaso. But they lie. Because Kwankwaso na the real MVP. The sacrifice that Kwankwaso has made in leaving ADC with Peter Obi to join the NDC, that sacrifice, Nigerians can never forget it. Nigerians do not take it for granted. Kwankwaso, no, let them get to you. Don't let them gaslight you. Don't let them emotionally blackmail you. What you have done will be immortally remembered in the hearts of Nigerians. Every well-meaning Nigerian that has the interest of Nigeria at heart will never forget this sacrifice that you have made. And you know the funny truth. You and the Kwankwasia movement are the biggest beneficiary of this move. Aside from the fact that it shows that you, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, you respect democratic principles. At least, you respect that the next 4 years should be the turn of the South. You respect that. Nigerians can never forget. That is something Atiku could not bring his ego down to accept. That's why we are where we are today. So Nigerians will not forget that. Don't let them drive a wedge between you and Peter Obi. Don't let them. Because that's their stock in trade. You, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, you are going to be the biggest beneficiary because Peter Obi will not do more than 4 years. He will not do more than 4 years. He has said it that in 2 years, a serious government will fix Nigeria. And it's the truth. From my analysis, I can tell you that in 6 months, a serious government will fix Nigeria. And Peter Obi has said he only needs 2 years. And then he has 4, which means that he has more than enough time to do what he will do to fix Nigeria, which is primarily corruption. To fix Nigeria, not hard. if you comot corruption. So, and he has promised that he will not do more than 4 years, which means that by 2031, power returns back to the north. Guess who Nigerians will be queuing behind in 2031? It's going to be you, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. So don't let anybody come and drive a wedge between you and Peter Obi saying that, oh, they are forcing Kwankwaso, Kwankwaso the PhD holder, Kwankwaso the former defense minister, Kwankwaso the former two-time governor, former senator, former this, former that. Yes, we recognize the pedigree of Kwankwaso. But there comes a point in the life of a man when he makes sacrifice for his country for the greater good. That is what Kwankwaso is doing. And he's doing it willingly. Kwankwaso is not somebody you can bamboozle. It's not somebody you can force. He's doing it willingly. Kwankwaso is not dumb. So those of you who are pushing this narrative, I'm going to go sit down. Kwankwaso will benefit from this, his action. He's sowing a seed that he will reap in 2031. Because at the end of the day, what do we all want? We want a Nigeria that works for all of us. Peter Obi getting the ticket has solved the problem of voter apathy. Nigerians will come out now because they see real credible option. A leader that they can trust, a leader that they can queue behind in Peter Obi. But now we must also put structures in place to make sure that the elections cannot be rigged, even with a 5-in-1 Tinubu. Patutomi has come up with his platform. We have a platform. All the platform necessary, all the structure necessary. We must engage all of them to make sure that 2027 cannot be rigged. Do you know that with votewatch.pro and PU Marshal, we will have real-time electronic result transmission from the polling unit across all the 36 states plus the FCT, all the 774 local government, all the 8,809 wards, all the 179,000 polling units, real-time result transmission. And in fact, that is not even the end. There is something much more important, which is real-time collation. So with VoteWatch from the polling unit in real time, we are seeing the results, how it is progressing. Of course, there are other things that we'll explain in due course. But the point is this: with VoteWatch, we can make sure, we can guarantee that Tinubu cannot rig the 2027 election. INEC, the judiciary, none of them can rig the 2027 election. So we have tickets, we have structures to make sure that the election cannot be rigged. Nigerians are happy, excited, celebrating. So all we need to do now is continue to spread the message. There is a new ticket in town, and it's the OK ticket that will make Nigeria to be okay. The celebrations are on, and the celebrations continue as Peter Obi and Rabiu Kwankwaso finally joined the NDC. Everywhere just the bubble. Have you noticed that it's as if Peter Obi has already won the 2027 elections? That's the feeling. All around my area, everybody was just jubilating. How your area be? You know, I talked with someone and he said that now there is hope, you know. All this while Peter Obi was in the ADC with them, them, there was this gloom that was hanging in the air. People felt uncertainty. But since last night, everywhere, people's faces are now bright. People can now feel a sense of hope. I don't know if it's only my area or is it like that in your area? They are celebrating as if Peter Obi has already won. Now we will tackle voter apathy. Do you think that with this kind of energy that people are displaying, that there will be voter apathy in 2027. People will come out in their millions to come and vote this time around because they feel the hope, the joy that there is an alternative. Now we will prove to those people who argue and say that, oh, you need big weak coalition of big weak politicians. We will prove to them that the coalition that is necessary is which one? Coalition of the people. Even in that north. Even in that north. Meanwhile, while all these are happening in NDC, guess what is happening in ADC? Everywhere quiet like graveyard. All them Amechi and them Atiku that have been gaslighting Peter Obi. How market? How far? Everywhere quiet. Pim, they not talk. Those people who used to argue that, do you know who Atiku is? Do you know who Amechi is? Do you think they are pushovers? When we said that the advert for ADC was Peter Obi, they argued. How market now? Everywhere quiet. Perhaps it is the beginning of the paralysis of ADC. The beginning of the paralysis of ADC. Did you see the timetable of primaries that they brought out? What did you see in there? Did you see the price for the nomination for presidential? For ADC or ADC? 100 million naira. They won't just take transactional politics, collect Peter Obi money, still push and come out, not give a ticket. But God passed them. Now Peter Obi has left. Peter Obi has left to higher ground. May God not allow other people to use our glory for us and still not give us accolade. God, let me use my glory by myself. Use my glory for me. Don't let another man use my glory. They wanted to use Peter Obi's glory in that ADC. But thank God, the path is clear. Everywhere quiet in ADC. Everywhere quiet. 100 million. They are even competing with APC. 100 million naira. This opposition party, what are they even thinking? Because even the one for Labour Party, have you seen the one for Labour Party? 50 million naira. For Labour Party, how many workers can earn 50 million naira in their lifetime? How many workers? Talk true. Labour Party is supposed to be the party of workers. Majority of the people in Labour Party are supposed to be workers. It's supposed to be a party that looks out for the interests of workers. But then, they put the price for nomination form and they put 50 million naira in there. Which worker will have 50 million saved from their 35 years of service if they have not stolen money? So these opposition politicians, parties, some of them, I don't know, they claim that they are for the people, but in actual sense, not for the people. Everywhere quiet in ADC.